Mystery Seekers, Episode 11, The Last Giant. Why Big Boy 4014 still stops America in its tracks. Welcome back, Mystery Seekers. Imagine standing beside a railroad crossing. You hear a whistle unlike anything you've heard before. The ground begins to shake. The rails start humming. A cloud of steam rises into the sky. Then, a machine more than 133 feet long, weighing over 1.2 million pounds, slowly comes into view. It isn't a movie prop. It isn't a replica. It's a real steam locomotive built over 80 years ago. Its name is Big Boy 4014, and it's the largest operating steam locomotive on Earth. As America celebrates its 250th anniversary in 2026, this engineering legend is once again traveling across the country, including Philadelphia. But here's today's mystery. Why does a train built in 1941 still draw crowds of thousands? Today on Mystery Seekers, we're uncovering the incredible story of America's last giant. Chapter 1. The Birth of a Legend. To understand Big Boy, we have to travel back to the late 1930s. America was still recovering from the Great Depression. Meanwhile, across Europe, another world war was beginning. Out west, the Union Pacific Railroad faced a major challenge. The railroad needed a locomotive powerful enough to haul enormous freight trains over the steep grades of the Wasatch Mountains between Wyoming and Utah. These weren't ordinary hills. Some stretches climbed more than 1% for miles, a tremendous obstacle for the massive freight trains of the day. Instead of using 2 or even 3 locomotives, engineers dreamed of building one machine powerful enough to pull everything by itself. That dream became the 4000 class locomotives. In 1941, the first of 25 giants rolled out of the American Locomotive Company, better known as ALCO. Legend says that during construction, one worker looked at the massive engine and simply wrote 2 words in chalk on the smoke box: Big Boy. The nickname stuck forever. Big Boy wasn't built for passengers. It wasn't built for luxury. It was built for one purpose: moving America. Each locomotive could pull thousands of tons of freight across mountains that defeated smaller engines. During World War II, railroads became the backbone of the American economy. Trains transported steel, coal, oil, food, military equipment, and countless supplies needed to support the war effort. While soldiers fought overseas, locomotives like Big Boy kept factories supplied and industries moving at home. Every trip represented another link in the chain that powered a growing nation. At nearly 7 million pounds of tractive effort over its lifetime, Big Boy became one of the most successful freight locomotives ever built. It wasn't just big, it was dependable. Technology never stands still. By the 1950s, diesel-electric locomotives began replacing steam engines. Diesels required fewer crew members. They were easier to maintain. They consumed less water. They could be started almost instantly. Steam locomotives, by comparison, required hours of preparation before leaving the yard. One by one, America's steam giants disappeared. Big Boy locomotives were retired by the early 1960s. Many were scrapped. Only 8 survived. For decades, they sat quietly in museums and parks. Most people assumed they would never move again. The age of steam had ended. Or so everyone thought. Then, something remarkable happened. In 2013, Union Pacific announced plans to restore Big Boy number 4014, which had been on display at the Rail Giants Train Museum in Pomona, California. Many railroad experts knew the scale of the challenge. The locomotive had been sitting outdoors for more than 50 years. Thousands of parts needed inspection. Some had to be rebuilt from scratch. Others no longer existed anywhere. Teams of engineers, machinists, welders, historians, and craftsmen spent years bringing the locomotive back to life. In 2019, the impossible happened. Steam rose from the stack once again. The whistle echoed across the rails. Big Boy moved under its own power for the first time in nearly 6 decades. History wasn't simply preserved, it came back to life. Now in 2026, Big Boy has returned to the eastern United States as part of America's 250th anniversary celebration. For many people in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Delaware, Maryland, and surrounding states, this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. The locomotive is making stops across the Northeast, including the Philadelphia region. Families arrive hours before it passes. Railroad enthusiasts travel hundreds of miles. Children see a real steam giant for the very first time. And older generations are reminded of an era when railroads connected nearly every town in America. Watching Big Boy isn't simply seeing a train, it's witnessing living history. Every whistle, every puff of steam, every turn of its enormous driving wheels reminds us how innovation once transformed an entire nation. Here are a few fascinating facts about Big Boy 4014. It measures over 133 feet from front to back. It weighs more than 1.2 million pounds. Its driving wheels stand approximately 68 inches tall. It can carry thousands of gallons of water and fuel. Although originally coal-fired, it now burns recycled fuel oil during operation. It is equipped with modern safety technology, including positive train control, allowing it to operate safely alongside today's freight traffic. And perhaps the most incredible fact, out of the 25 Big Boys ever built, 4014 is the only one still operating. That makes every appearance extraordinarily rare. So, why does Big Boy still captivate America? Maybe it's because it reminds us that history doesn't have to remain behind glass. It can move. It can breathe. It can whistle. It can inspire. Big Boy represents a time when engineers dared to build something larger than anyone thought possible. It reminds us that determination, craftsmanship, and innovation can leave a legacy that lasts for generations. The mystery isn't why Big Boy survived. The mystery is how one machine continues to unite people of every age simply by rolling down the tracks. Sometimes, the greatest mysteries aren't hidden underground or buried beneath ancient ruins. Sometimes, they're hiding in plain sight, waiting for us to slow down and appreciate them. I'm Max with Mystery Seekers. If you enjoyed today's adventure, be sure to subscribe, share this episode with a fellow history lover, and download the Mystery Seekers app, where every address can unlock a mystery, a legend, or a forgotten piece of history waiting to be discovered. Until next time, keep seeking the mysteries.